Hi guys, Robboy46 here. MotoGP 23 has released today on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PC and Nintendo Switch. So I thought I'd do a little thoughts video because I've been playing it for about a week now. So when you first boot up the game, you get greeted with this screen and then you get to do a time trial using different game experiences. So this is to help new players, and what you can do a track time trial with each of these and see how you get on. And the good thing is, once you've done a time trial, you're not locked into a particular game experience. You can come back to this screen and select a different one, try that out, and even when you have finally settled on one, you can go into the settings and change them as you wish. So once you've chosen a game experience, you're not locked into it. So yeah, Milestone have done a good job this year to try and bridge the gap between new players and long-time players, and also it's not off-putting for new players. You know, MotoGP games in the past have had a steep learning curve and people have just given up at like their first try because they can't stay on track or they keep crashing. This time there are more player assists, like the neural aids, which help with throttle control, turning into corners, keeping in the apex, and braking as well. So a lot of stuff for new players there. So like I said, once you have picked your game experience, you head to Mugello and you do a lap. And providing you don't go off track or anything and you manage to do a clean lap, then the game will say that you've completed the time trial. But like I said, you're not locked into whatever game experience you choose. So I've gone for the expert one, or the extreme one, and you'll see me just trying to do a lap. I should say as well that the gameplay in this video has been captured on both PS5 and Xbox Series X, and a big thank you to Milestone and Play On UK for the codes. Let's talk about the physics whilst we're at it. So braking, it feels like you can brake a little bit later than last year, which takes a bit of getting used to. And also, I did mention on my preview videos that when you touch the throttle, the bike starts to pick itself up, which does make trying to get some corner speed going very difficult, because as soon as you touch the throttle, the bike starts to lift up and it's difficult to then try and stay on line and maintain corner speed. So it takes some getting used to. I don't think it's as aggressive as it was in the preview build. It'd been a little while since I played the preview build, and you know, I came and did this time trial and didn't run off track or outbrake myself or anything like that. So yeah, it like I say, it does take some getting used to, and if you go into it and try and play it like MotoGP 22 or previous MotoGP games for that matter, you're going to have probably a bit of a bad time. So get used to it and just do some practice, and you'll be fine. Yeah, like I say, it does take a bit of practice to get used to it and to get the feeling and everything. So in terms of riders, the MotoGP class, all the riders and bikes are there with liveries and everything updated for day one. So a couple of my videos, I think, was recorded before they did the update patch to update all the bikes and everything. So you may see one or two videos on the channel which was recorded before that patch. If you do, it's fine. It was just because I recorded it before the patch. But yeah, riders, bikes, they're all there. So that's all good. In terms of tracks, all the tracks from 2023 calendar are there, including the Kazakhstan Track, which MotoGP are not actually going to, and the Indian track as well is also in the game. So 2 new tracks to learn, which we will get onto in a little bit. There are also some historic tracks. Classes, there's MotoGP, Moto2 and Moto3. Although there are historic tracks, there aren't any historic bikes at the moment. Hopefully they'll be added at a later date. I'm hoping they will. But at the moment, this is the first game in 22 years that Valentino Rossi has not been a playable rider. So, yeah, that's a bit strange. But like I said, they may add historic riders a bit later down the line. And Moto E will be coming a bit later as well. Moto2 and Moto3 liveries and bikes will be updated a bit later as well. So career mode, when you start career, you get greeted with a screen which basically runs you through what to expect. You start off in a debut season and you'll take part in 3 races. Once you have started and you've customized your rider and everything, so I was placed with the Vision Track team in Moto3, and you get given some objectives to try and achieve, and it's definitely a lot better this year. Career is a lot more engaging. The last few games, the career has been absolutely identical to one another and did get very, very stale. I'm really happy that they have actually changed it up this season, so you will get a little bit of a rivalry. I mean, my first rival was Yamanaka, and I basically had to finish in front of him in the championship by the end of my second race. So that is something that you need to look out for. There was 3 races, but I had to finish my second race in front of Yamanaka in the standings. If you do that, you get some like status points, and the higher the status you get, the better offers you get contract-wise with other teams. So, also there is a social media wall. You'll see other riders put some statuses up, and you can basically respond to them. You can either do a friendly respond or more of a rivalry response. And depending on what you choose will affect their attitude towards you. And if you're trying to get with a certain team, but the leader of the team doesn't like you, you're probably going to struggle to get a contract. So yeah, it's worth bearing in mind that what you see on social media, as in real life, does affect things for you going down the line. So yeah, will be interesting to see how it pans out going forward. And yeah, it's definitely a nice little touch in the career mode. So yeah, my first race was at Sepang. I'm not going to put the whole race on here, so I couldn't, or at the time I couldn't find a way to change the laps or anything. So on the extreme experience, the AI was on 120% difficulty. My first race was 13 laps, and around Sepang that took a little while. But I'll take a moment to speak about the AI. They are brutal on MotoGP 23. Their qualifying times are really, really quick. I think in all the 3 debut races I did, I was a good couple of seconds off of their times, which wasn't ideal because it meant I was starting right at the back of the field, which made it very, very difficult to fight my way through. On some of the corners on braking, they are quite weak, but their mid-corner is very, very fast. Like through this right-hander, I was getting beaten up quite a lot. People going around the outside or trying to. But as soon as we get to the braking zones, we closed up on the riders in front. But they are more aggressive. They're definitely quicker this year. Their starts, I don't think I've seen any of the AI get any bad starts whatsoever at the moment. They all seem to get perfect starts. So even if you get, an okay start, you're going to struggle to overtake people down to turn 1. Even on the lower difficulty settings as well, they still get good starts, but they are obviously slower elsewhere on the track, and obviously easier to beat. But yeah, 120% difficulty, they are absolutely brutal. They're quite happy just to lift you up and literally physically move you aside. Even in the Moto3s, if you touch a throttle a little bit, the bike starts to pick itself up, which in Moto3, when the whole aim of the game is corner speed, does make it quite difficult to get good corner speed. It doesn't seem to affect the AI. They seem to be able to have good corner speed without running wide on the exit. So something to bear in mind. Because the bike I was on has no upgrades whatsoever, we were very slow down the straights, but very strong on the brakes. So yeah, very difficult to be able to fight and make some overtakes as well, especially when they're pulling away on the straights. And then by the time you've closed back in on them on the brakes and that, you're on another straight again. But yeah, like I said, career mode this year is a lot more engaging. It's a lot more fun as well. And the really good thing is as well, when you join a team, only one of the riders or one of the current riders stays in the team. So no longer are we having 3 rider teams like we have in previous games. So there's a team leader and they stay in the team, and then the second rider disappears for you to obviously take their place. So 2 new tracks. So we've obviously got, this is the the Indian track, Buddha or Bud. Still not entirely sure how to pronounce it. This is a pretty good track. On the map it looks fairly simple, but it's not. There are quite a few blind corners to try and get used to. But yeah, it's a pretty decent track. I haven't raced around here yet. I've only done a few laps in time trial to kind of learn which way it was going. But yeah, it seems pretty decent. Whether MotoGP actually race there this year, whether the homologation is going to be up to standards for them to race, that was the reason they didn't go to Kazakhstan for that Grand Prix. So even if they don't actually race here this year, it's in the game, as is the Kazakhstan track, which is on screen now. Again, looks like a fairly simple track. This one definitely feels more simple to the Indian track, but it's still quite fun. I mean, the first sector a little bit like Circuit Americas with the flow-in corners. Then we go up to a hairpin which tightens in on itself, and I completely missed the apex on this run. Then there's a little straight into another corner, then you go onto another straight, and then you got a bit of a chicane, and then you go onto the back straight. It's not the longest of tracks. You're in the 130s around here, so it's not a very long track really. But I found this one easier to learn than the Indian track, but like I said, both seem pretty decent. Haven't done races around either of them yet, but I think they will both make for good racing. You just have to make sure, especially on this one, that your lines are clean, because it's quite easy to go off track or cut corner or whatever. So that's the 2 new tracks. This year, obviously, there is, or one of the new features of the game is flag to flag. So currently racing around Mugello at the moment, fighting with the AI. Currently sitting in 4th place, using my own rider on the KTM. Fighting with Zarco at the moment, and we have got up to 4th. The Ducatis are fighting amongst themselves, and they have, well, one of them went wide. It was Bagnaia who went wide, so we're just behind Bastianini. Bezzecchi's trying to check out. Yeah, like I said, the AI are a lot more competitive this year. They will fight back at you. Give them not even a chance, and they will try and come through. This corner, even on previous games, the AI were quick through here, so they are still quick on this game. So if you leave the door open even a fraction, they will be through. Yeah, this is coming around the final corner. Just been overtaken by my teammate Brad Binder, but we're going to get him on the straight because we will be able to use slipstream. Still got the ride height device to use. So this year there is no bike retrieval system. There has been in the last couple of games, but it's only been for the player. So I personally am not going to miss it not being in the game because the AI never did it as well. So it was a bit silly in single player. So yeah, flag to flag. Unfortunately, it is all automated, which does make trying to gain time in a pit stop. You can't really gain time or lose time. It's whatever the game gives you, really. Hopefully, going forward, you know, MotoGP 24, hopefully we will have control and everything, and you know, try and make up some time coming into the pit. But yeah, it's nice that flag to flag and dynamic weather is in the game, and it's not just dry to wet or wet to dry. It goes from sunny to cloudy, cloudy to sunny, you know, cloudy to rain. Moto 3 and Moto 2 in real life, they don't have flag to flag systems because they've only got one bike in Moto 3 and Moto 2. So if it starts raining, the red flag comes out. So the red flag comes out, and then you have a quick start procedure or quick restart procedure, and you go back to the grid. You start the second part of the race in the position you were at the end of the first part, and then you get racing again, but this time it's raining, so all the work that you did in the dry, you've now got to try and do in the wet. But obviously it's a shortened distance now because you've done some of the race already. I think this was down to 4 laps. Again, nice little addition. Yeah, we're down to 4 laps for the restart, so shortened race. And again, in the wet, the AI pretty brutal. We did manage to get up to second momentarily on this restart, but yeah, you just have to kind of brute force your way through. So overall thoughts on MotoGP 23 are positive. Like I said, you do need to get used to the new physics model, especially with the throttle and the bike picking up coming out of corners, because I can see some people getting frustrated of going wide all the time because they can't, or that they try to get good corner speed and they can't because of the bike picking up. But give it a chance, try and get used to it. Maybe Milestone might tone it down a little bit in the future. You just got to kind of bear with it and do the best you can. I haven't been able to test multiplayer, unfortunately, or the live GP, because at time of recording it's before the game releases, so I wasn't able to find any lobbies. But yeah, that is it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel for more content. I shall see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to stay safe, watch out, look after yourself. See you guys next time. See you!